prolapses, and we are talking pre-farrowing feeding. Okay, so I mean, Iowa State has done a great job with a series of production systems on prolapses. And, you know, I think one thing that comes to mind here when it comes to nutrition, there is one graph that showed, hey, if you don't bump feed the sows, they have more prolapses. The problem with that, not the problem, but I think a lot of people misinterpret that graph. Basically, it's if she's thin and you don't give more feed, she probably gonna have prolapse. Not probably, but the likelihood of having a prolapse is higher. Okay, so I mean, it's basic, is nutrition 101. Body condition is the single most important thing in sow feeding, right? So that's my take here on prolapse and feeding. Be very careful. I mean, when it comes to the whole thing about, you know, bump feeding, prolapses, you feed to body condition and you'll be fine from that data set. Pre-farrowing, I mentioned what I know about pre-farrowing, which is the whole thing around minimizing the time between the last meal and the farrowing. So you might need to feed 2 or 4 times a day, right? If you can. You know, Dr. Tommy Crenshaw has done a good work in calcium phosphorus right around farrowing. And what he found was that these females, they really, you know, the homeostasis is very strong. And goes back to the whole thing we were talking about, a finishing pig, the multiplication of body weight. These pigs are extremely resilient. And, you know, so this is, you know, when it comes to calcium phosphorus, fiber is one that I would like to learn a little more about. I'm not super convinced yet. I'm sure I might be missing some papers, but I'm not convinced yet. So let's see. Already signed up. Very excited for the sessions. Thanks, Ben. Excited about it. How to get a good balance on performance and economic. Pablo. The best way, I think, to do that is using tools, right? Energy tools. I mean, K-State has a phenomenal website on that. Iowa State and others. Economic tools where you look at energy, you look at lysine. PIC has done a great job on that lysine tool, right? The phosphorus economic tool that K-State has done with PIC, the tryptophan tool that that K-State did with Ajinomoto, right? So really, that's I think the best way you're gonna do that balance. Okay, Pablo. Any further comments from group on tail biting and ear biting? I'm trying to get a roundtable together on ear biting. We're actually going to reach out to some, that was an idea from Dr. Mike Tokash, to reach out to some skin, like even human skin vascularization specialists to learn more about the whole thing about some ear necrosis, right? But yeah, let us know here, everyone. What do you think about tail biting and nutrition? Pablo is asking sow mortality and nutrition. I mean, there's some systems here in the US having some lameness, and they might think that it could be nutrition related. I don't think anyone knows at this point, right? We need more data when it comes. I mean, the whole thing around locomotor problems and nutrition, for example, is a tough one. I don't think we have I mean, what is that definition, right? Do you want a very strong bone or not so strong? If it's too rigid, maybe it's not good. I don't know. We need to learn about that. Jane, yes, mostly non-nutrition, but farmers in my place often blame nutrition. Of course, right? It's always the feed.